everyone. If I told you you had a story needing to be heard, would you share it? Better yet, if you knew your story could help someone else, would you tell it? Hi, I'm Christine Hotchkiss, and just like our fingerprints, I believe our stories are original and unique to the paths that we are on. Would you agree? Yes, I agree. You know, I have been blessed with being able to sit down with so many people, hearing their stories. I get emotional when I meet them because I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I'm doing something good. And I know that what I do with sitting with my guests is doing something good as well. So we're going to go right into who my guest is today. Today, my guest is Lauren Stivinson, right?
That's correct.
I'm always bad with names. Thank you for your time allowing me into your home. Lauren is a survivor of stage 4 throat cancer. 2009, you said?
Yes.
2009. So I'm going to let her begin her story as to how did you find out that you had stage 4 throat cancer? What is a regular doctor visit? What came about?
Well, it was after 3 car accidents. I was having a lot of back problems, and I was seeing my doctor. And at that point, I was having some trouble swallowing water and sunflower seeds.
Something so small.
I just kind of mentioned it to my doctor. So she said, well, let's do an endoscopy, because I had a lot of issues with acid reflux. So it's been a year since I'd had one. So it was just a routine endoscopy, and that's when they found the tumor.
The tumor. Now, where was it located in your throat?
It was on my epiglottis, which is the flap that covers your airway, so food and water don't go into your throat.
So when people say I swallowed down the wrong pipe, is that flap that gets us caught up on?
Yes.
Oh, there, we learned something there. I didn't know that. So it's not the part that we see when we open our mouths that's hanging, which is the uvula, right? It's further in where we can't see it.
Correct.
So, wow, that makes a big difference. So you no longer have that flap?
I no longer had that flap.
Okay, so you had found out that you had stage 4. When I ask people stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 sounds like end of all. And I'm not quite sure what you thought when you heard you had cancer for 1, and then you were told stage 4 for 2. Can you tell me how you felt?
Honestly,
This is what we're here for.
I was excited because I knew God was going to use this to bless.
I love that too.
So I don't know. I mean, 30 minutes after I was told I had cancer, we had our moments of, oh my goodness.
Right.
But then I was excited because God was going to use me.
And whether you believe in God or not, I do. My faith is strong, and I love meeting people who have no shame or embarrassment or fear of talking about what they believe in. And when you're going through something like this, that's all somebody's got. And so I commend you for saying that, so thank you. So moving forward, you had to have surgery, because I see you have a hole here.
I had the surgery to remove the tumor, and that was a 9-hour surgery. Then I had a peg tube that was put in to eat while I was going through chemo and radiation.
What's it called again?
A peg tube or feeding tube.
Feeding tube, okay.
So I had that back in 2009.
Okay.
And then I ended up having to have surgery to put a trach in because my airway closed after my first chemo treatment.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Okay. In all of this, was your faith still strong? Were you tested?
Oh, my faith was very strong back then.
It was very strong.
Absolutely.
So that helps you with the healing process, even though you were going through all of this.
Right. The night before my surgery to remove my tumor, I believed God could remove it miraculously, but the night before, or the day before, I was walking and kind of talking, and God doesn't speak to me audibly, but He speaks to me. And it was like, as if I knew it wasn't going to be healed, but He was going to walk me through this whole thing. Okay. And He's walked me through this whole journey.
And this journey has been since 2009.
Yeah.
And you just indicated to me today, having never met you until now, that you're going to be seeing the physician tomorrow to do what?
Yes, 2 years ago, I believed that God had kind of put some things in my path to get healed, to have my trach removed. I did have a trach in.
Okay.
Up until a year ago. So I had 3 surgeries for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And my trach was removed. Unfortunately, the scar tissue that they were removing these last 3 surgeries has grown back.
Has grown back currently?
Has grown back.
Okay.
So the 3 surgeries has not worked. So I go tomorrow to see my doctor to see what the next step is.
In all of this, you had to learn how to swallow and eat again, didn't you?
Well, I did, because last year on the last surgery, third surgery, when he opened up my throat again, everything went into my lungs, and I got severe pneumonia. I was in the hospital for 18 days, and so they told me I would never eat or drink again.
Never eat or drink again, and here you are doing that.
I'm eating and drinking again, yes.
With your faith, and no doubt about everything is going to be just fine.
Well, I can't say no doubts.
No, but you have some strong faith here that you're saying, okay, we heard it, we've been brought this far.
God has been good, and it's been a struggle, but God's never left me. He's walked me through every step of this process.
And he will continue to do that. And as we know right now, we're going through some tough times with our world, not just our economy and our country, but the world with the coronavirus. And there'll be some stories that will come out of that too. And I think that everything that we do in our lives has something to do with why we are where we're at. Whether we agree politically or religiously, they put us on a path of either bringing you to a belief of God, or I don't know if there's a negative to it. I try not to be a negative person. So you're going to have the surgery. Is that for them to do what?
Well, I don't think he's going to do another surgery. I think he's at the end of what he can do.
Okay.
So it's basically, he's wanting to put another, it's like a button that'll go in there. It's not a full trach. Doesn't go down my throat like it did the last time, but it's still a trach, kind of.
Okay, because you're always having to do this, so it's open. So that's for you to be able to talk, so the air doesn't come through you. Is that correct?
Right. It'll be like a contraption where I can breathe through, and I won't have to put my thumb over my throat to talk anymore.
Okay.
Kind of going back to where we were 2 years ago.
I think you're a lot further than you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Is there anything you want to share along with the journey that you had that would be inspiring to someone else that maybe is going through a hard time physically, or even spiritually? They're not sure that they have what it takes, even though we know they're going to be just fine. Can you give them some hope?
Oh, there's always hope. I mean, God is a God of hope, and never give up on God, and keep praying, keep praising, even when things look dark. Because there's been a lot of dark times throughout this journey, but God's never let me down. And have others who can pray you through it, because when you don't have the
strength,
words or the strength,
I agree.
You have people who pray you through it. So
I believe in the circle of prayer. It's very powerful, as long as you have true feeling in it. You've got people that'll say it, but are they really doing it? So when you have those people that believe in that, there's some power in it. I agree. So hope is always one thing I always say, and that's what I do when I'm on these shows. I'm always wanting to give hope to other people through the individuals that I sit with. And as I mentioned before, it gives me hope too, because I've got my own journey that I've been on, and I hope that I display that I've given hope that even though something different has happened to you, you don't have to act different, be treated differently, or think you are different. Does that make sense?
absolutely.
I love that. Now there's a photo behind us, and I actually saw this when I first came in, and I loved it. I don't know if everyone else can see it, but could you share with me what this moment is with you and your husband?
At that moment, my dad was he was in hospice, and he wasn't doing well, and was just getting out of hospice. And I'd been praying for my dad, because I didn't know for sure 100% that he was going to go to heaven. We believed he was, but we didn't know. And I just wanted him to say yes to Jesus. So on this photo, we went to my church. They just bought this property, and we had these stakes that they wanted us to pray and stick into the ground. And so we wrote, "Say yes to Jesus," because my goal is just that everybody would just say yes to Jesus and to know who he is. And so we stuck that in the ground, and we were praying, and our good friend took that picture while we were praying.
I like those. Their time right here has been captured. I always say a photo is capturing a memory in time, and this definitely is. And not as just a memory, but it's your story, that you remember what's happening that day, and that you were still giving hope to people you may not even know in that church. Has that church since been built?
No, this just happened in November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my dad just passed away in November.
Oh,
So.
I'm sorry. What is your dad's name?
Raymond.
Thank you. Thank you. I also now just learned of you and your husband are veterans of Desert Storm.
Yes.
So I want to say to both of you, thank you. We had discussed off camera that it's one of those short wars that a lot of people didn't realize what they were, but I do because I knew some people that went there. But it was one of those, we've had wars of some sort, and we forget who actually sacrifices their lives, their families, to go help and serve a mission from your heart and for what reasons you chose to. So thank you. Yeah. My final question, not many people have an answer to or even think that they have an answer to. I know I'm living every day, I'm making my mark in life. Whether it's through the loss of my daughter Nicole and what I do, my story is also one that I share with people with no hesitation, because that's my life too. But the question I like to ask is, when your last day's done, what do you want to be remembered for? Whether it's a legacy, which you're living, or just you want to be remembered for?
The only thing I wish to be remembered for is that people would see Jesus through me. That's it.
Well, you know, when you said that, there was a lot of light that just came from you when you said that, and I don't say that very often because I don't see that. So I did just see that when you said it, was like all of a sudden this light just came from you, and I love that part. Lauren, is there anything you want to share, anything that I didn't ask that would be inspiring to someone that may be, again, I mentioned earlier, that's struggling? Because this is your story, that you can have this moment to say,
No, whatever you're going through in life, you know, we're all guaranteed to go through something. You know, it may not be what I've gone through or somebody else, but you're going to go through some kind of struggle. Just trust in the Lord.
you have to have your faith, especially in these hard times right now with everyone with the panic mode, with the pandemic of the coronavirus, and there'll be other things too, but if there's anything that you can do is hold on to your faith, hold on strong, and don't panic and freak out, because we're all in this together. So whether it's a story that someone's going to be a survivor of coronavirus, or someone who's I've sat with, like you, with stage 4 throat cancer, you'll be okay. So, well, thank you again for your time. I really do appreciate it. Well, that is that. And if you want to see this again, you know where the replay button is. Or, as I have mentioned before, these just keep getting better. So come back. And if you want to find me on YouTube, you'll find all these other stories, because that's where they're at, and there'll be many more. Because I have a mission, and that is to share your story to change people's lives, because it's changing mine. Until the next time, you take care.